let me introduce you guys Marharyta. Marharyta is the press officer of Ukrainian armed forces here in Kharkiv, and she's kind enough to show us a little bit around. So nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Yeah, thanks for paying your time for us. And can you tell what was the first month of war in Kharkiv, when the entire country was under attack? What was happening actually here, because it was so hard to track the development of the events?
In Kharkiv, the war beginning too quickly. So in February and in March, there are a lot of rocket attack, a lot of artillery attack, and some of battles was nearest the city and in the city too, in the Saltivka, for example.
So the Russian armed forces, they actually entered the city, as I understand.
Yes.
It was not like in Kiev that it was besieged, they went inside the city.
Yes, in the first days, the Russians came to city, and there is some battles with tanks, with batters and some other machines, with our armed forces, with National Guard, with police too. And I think in the beginning of March, it will be so hard to
even track all the events.
Yes, track all the events and understand it's really Kharkiv stand by Russians or it will be occupied. But
actually, one of the most decisive battles in our war in Ukraine happened over here. And how far did they go inside? Because walking around the city center, we see all the destruction here and there. It feels like the war happened here, but it's this is the
not here, not in the center. Only the around city and the one of the districts, the Saltivka district.
Guys, during this visit in Kharkiv, we are going to visit Saltivka as well, which is the northern suburb of Kharkiv. So we'll take a look what's happening down there, and in the meantime, let's carry on. Do you have any stats or a roughly idea how many people left Kharkiv since the start of the war?
I don't know definitely, but I think about the million maybe, just because a lot of students live in the city, and a lot of students around Ukraine, a lot of students from other countries, and there are only the oldest people. There are no younger.
Yeah, so basically we are talking that more than half of population left the city. And the one who stayed here, we just passed the couple of older age, and this is basically, guys, is telling what's happening in Ukraine, because once we travel in surrounding area, we see that those who could or who had where to go, they did. Obviously, such people as Marharyta and her colleagues remained to defend the city, and those who are underprivileged, the older population or who didn't have any money, they had to stay risking their life every single day. Marharyta, you are one of the most recognized personalities of Ukrainian armed forces on Instagram, and also, which is unique position, you are a girl. Which type of extra attention, or do you have some special feeling behind that?
Yes, in the first days of war, I give a lot of interview for media in English, in Spanish, in Ukrainian, and I told for all the world about our war, about what has happened in Kiev, what has happened in Bucha, in Borodyanka, and in other cities. And now I'm working with the media in Kharkiv region. So when you are a girl in the Ukrainian armed forces, it's a little bit difficult, just because no one can imagine that a lot of girls would be in army. But there are a lot of support from from the soldiers in the position, for me, they help me a lot. And I think if the girl are in the first line of the conflict, the man became more proud and have more feeling of support and doing their jobs well.
Absolutely, that's incredible, guys. And if you see this situation in Ukraine, you cannot stay aside from the war and conflict in Ukraine. So what I would like to ask you first, subscribe on Marharyta's channels, like all the links will be provided down below, Instagram. And what is even more important, listen to her, because she is always spreading information about different initiatives that you can participate. For example, buying a car for a military unit or donating to some other matters. Simply follow Marharyta and follow her instructions, because she is the military girl.
I write in my Instagram that if you want to be my lover, you can send the heavy weapons to Ukraine.
So what's the procedure? How does it work? Where should they send the armor to become a lover?
You should send some HIMARS or M777 or maybe Panzerhaubitze.
So can you please tell how does the typical working day of the press officer actually looks like?
I wake up maybe in 6 a.m. Some other day and 7, and after that I check up my telephone and looks about some messages from my colleagues, press officer for other region, and some message from the media. After that, I'm going to the position with some media. It's about 2 or 3 hours on the road, and after that we are working on the position. We filmed some cannon or some tanks. We have interview with the soldier, and some days we had a coffee with them on the forest. After that we go back. It's 2-3 hours, and all of this day I'm on the telephone, and there are a lot of calls, a lot of "Hi, I want to work with you," and there are a lot of parallelly I need to hide the confirmation from some of the commander for my deals. So there are a lot. It's really hard to doing a lot of this confirmation in one day or in sometimes in 1 hour.
Mm-hmm. Definitely understand how hectic is it. So while we were traveling in the east of Ukraine, guys, and there are many other videos of the surrounding towns around, like near Kharkiv, we had some communication with you, right?
Yeah.
I must say it was very professional from your side, and it was
you.
kind of very precise, right? Which is unique, I must tell you, in the middle of this chaos, because the scale of war is simply huge. So we are super grateful that you found the time for us to show around. And did you have to confirm our connection with somebody else, or it was like your initiative by yourself and you can make this decision by your own?
Some of decision I can make by my own, like some excursion and some filming in the city, but when we are going to the position, I need to confirm it with the with some commander of the battalion, or the commander of the brigade, or some commander of the artillery unit. So it's more harder and more longer.
Are the press officers paid? Whoa! We just heard a sound. It was the warning that you are touching very sensitive topic, but as I understand, all of the Ukrainian army people now are paid much better than they used to be paid before.
Yes, but for me it's it's normal just because I worked with business and I have the bigger salary than
Okay.
I have in army now. But now really, some soldiers who are in the first line or on the zero line had more salary, some for some 70,000.
Yeah, I think so. Like,
something
for
that.
the regular soldiers who just enroll, it was about 46,000 hryvnia, and for those who are on the front line, it's even 3 times more.
Yeah. Yes.
So, and this is so crucial, guys, you know, because Ukrainian army was underpaid, under-equipped for so much time, and now eventually Ukrainian soldiers are the real heroes, and they are the one who should be the most privileged in any type of resource happening. So definitely nothing pays off the risk that they're taking, but at least this is the minimum what the government and the society can do, and obviously the entire support what is coming from the civilians and from the international community is simply tremendous in terms of humanitarian aid, ammunition supplies. Our friend Hrvoje from Croatia just delivered the entire truck of aid to Ukraine. So basically the Ukrainian soldiers are the shield of the entire free world at the moment. And please don't take for granted your peaceful life back home. We just arrived in Saltivka.